How would you like to display the Sedum Morganianum? Creatively like this? Mixed with other succulent plants like this? Or hanging freely on its own like this? Whatever way you want to display this plant, you need to know the right location in your garden where it can achieve its best, as well as how to provide the proper care. Too much light can cause this plant to get sunburned, but not enough light can cause it to elongate, have bigger spaces in between, and easily fall off. Not giving enough water can cause the leaves to shrink and wrinkle, but too much of it can also make them crack. Here's the side-by-side comparison of the sedum. The one on the left lacks water and looks unhealthy. The leaves are thin and wrinkly. The one in the middle is pretty healthy and chunky. But notice the one on the right. Although it is also chunky, it does not look healthy as the one in the middle. Some leaves have already fallen off. Can you see those cracks? So it looks like this one here received too much water at some point. The leaves expanded, became heavy, and fell off. Some even cracked. When this sedum gets overwatered, the stored moisture inside their cells seeps into the surrounding tissues, and later on the leaves become mushy. And it is not uncommon to find healthy ones and not so healthy ones in the same container. This Sedum Morganianum is either a Burro's tail or a donkey's tail. To tell them apart, pay attention to the shape of their leaves. The donkey's tail has crescent-shaped leaves and the tip is somehow pointed. It is also loosely clustered. Whereas the burro's tail has rounded-shaped leaves and is more tightly clustered. So how do you water your Sedum Morganianum? This sedum prefers to be watered a bit more often than other succulents. It prefers to be on the moist side rather than completely dry for a long time. And it is easy to tell if the plant needs more water because its leaves will look wrinkly like this. But you do not need to wait for the plant to get wrinkly. You can water once a week as long as the soil dries out fast. Watering this plant also depends on the season, your climate, and even your soil mixture. During summer, when it is hot and the soil dries out fast, you can water this even every other day. But during winter, when this plant is dormant, keeping the soil dry most of the time will help keep this plant alive. If you are using a very crumbly soil mixture that allows the soil to dry fast, you can water thoroughly when the soil is dry. But if you are using a soil mixture that holds more moisture, you need to pay attention to how well hydrated the plant is and make sure that it is not sitting on wet soil for a long time. If you're new to succulents and would like to learn more on how to properly water them and everything you need to know in between in order to grow healthy succulents, check out my book, Water Me Next Week, A Succulent's Plea, a beginner's guide to watering succulents. The link is in the description below. Sedum Morganianum prefers bright but indirect light. It can even grow indoors as long as it is placed in a well-lit area. Look at this healthy bunch of donkey's tail. You see, once you find that perfect spot where they can grow well, this plant will reward you with a lot of offsets. Look at how massively this plant is growing. Do you know why this girl sounds so excited?
This one is easy to grow.
Babies are coming.
Yeah.
It's because of the leaves. Yes, even the leaves can be propagated. And the best ones to propagate are those matured and chunky leaves. Another way of growing more of this plant is to encourage more growth. Because as it matures, it beautifully trails down like this, but may lose some of its leaves as it grows older. Because this is a drought-tolerant plant, it will even survive with neglect. But of course, the more neglected and the older it gets, it may lose most of its leaves. One way to encourage more growth and to make your container look more fuller is to trim the plant. Look at this one. This has been trimmed and is growing more sprouts. Sedum Morganianum is a beautiful succulent plant when well looked after. It's the best for projects in need of trailing plants. Will it change color when stressed? It will, but not as pretty colors as the jades, crasulas, and echeverias. Speaking of echeverias, if you are looking for rare Korean succulents, especially echeverias, check out our website www.chopstickandsucculents.com. I hope you learned something from this video today, and if you love gardening and still do not have this tweezers and scissors combo, avail of it for 10% off today. Take care everyone!